Hey everyone, and welcome back to BS Rambles. Today I'm going to be playing my favorite character, who is Nova. So usually I like to show the draft first. I hope that I sped this up enough that it doesn't get super boring. But one of the toughest parts about picking Nova is drafting Nova, because you're really relying on your team to do everything for you. You need them to have a tank, you need a specialist, you need a healer, and you're going to need some consistent damage if the specialist can't give that. So the toughest part to getting to play Nova in Hero League is finding situations where you can play her, and the most important thing is just to show it early. I was lucky this game in that I had played Nova with a couple of these people before, so they can kind of vouch for you, because a lot of the time, the worst part about picking Nova is that it'll trigger your team, and it'll just snowball into a bad game, because people see that pick, right away they get angry, and either they'll screw off and draft and just pick whatever they want because they feel like you're picking whatever you want, which is probably true, to be honest, if you're playing Nova. But yeah, just you got to be very careful. It's not worth picking Nova if it means that your team's going to not try for the rest of the game. Anyways, I'll jump right into the build that I've been using, and I was actually someone that really hated the Nova rework because I loved Nova beforehand. I think I'm almost level 50 as Nova right now, which is by far my most played character. And yeah, I was really disappointed because I felt like there was so much flexibility to the previous build, but they changed her up and kind of normalized her a little bit. They kind of took away some of the nicheness of her, and even though she still is a very niche character in that she purely is a hero damage assassin, I feel like they did still take a step back from that like ranged one-shotter that she was before. And that build is still around, but it's basically impossible to execute. I think this one offers the same execution potential, but it also lets you shred tanks, which is awesome. I mean, the biggest problem with people who pick Nova is that they don't contribute damage. They'll just run around stealthed until basically hoping that their team creates an opportunity for them to pick off a kill. And that is not what this build is going to be doing. By level 16, you're going to be able to chunk tanks down to about 25% health. So if you stuck with the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I appreciate it, because you're probably just here to find a Nova build guide. So I'll jump right in. The first thing that we're going to take is Advanced Cloaking. And that's not the most popular first pick talent, but I love it. So what it does is it gives you 2 mana per second, but it also increases your movement speed by 25%. And that movement speed increase is the shit. That is why you're taking this build, because there's so many times, basically your role on the team is to finish off kills, right? I know what I said about tanks earlier, that's important too, but you need to be able to finish off kills. If there's someone below 50% health, that's your job. Advanced Cloaking is going to allow you to reposition yourself really nicely to pick off those kills, and it'll allow you to escape really well. At level 4, I've got another unpopular pick, and that is Covert Mission, which is basically bribe. You get stacks for killing minions and heroes, and then you can go bribe mercenary camps. And I love taking this because, well, frankly, you don't really need the other ones. They're okay, but they're not that great. Especially if you've taken Advanced Cloaking, usually the go-to pick is Rapid Protection, which is reducing the cooldown and mana cost. I honestly, I really don't think that you need that, because for the most part in this, you're going to be bursting people down anyways. You're not going to be relying on a 40% cooldown reduction on your clone, although it is handy. I think that the map pressure that you can create with Bribe, because like I said before, you're going to have to rely on your team to do basically everything for you in this, and that is such a pain. So Bribe allows you to kind of take back a bit of the macro control in the map into your own hands. And I always talk on my channel about allowing yourself to be the player that carries, right? And you can't be a player that carries really if you're not contributing to map control at all. So this is super important that that's a part of the game. And Covert Mission allows you to keep that aspect in the game. Next, at level 7, we're going to be taking One in the Chamber. That basically is follow-through for Nova. It says, after using an ability, Nova's next basic attack within 3 seconds deals 80% additional damage. Now, back in the day, I used to always take anti-armor shells, but if someone takes block and you've taken anti-armor shell, you're out of it. You're out of the game. You cannot attack that person anymore. One in the Chamber is going to allow you a lot more damage later in the game, and it actually, frankly, you feel kind of naked until level 7. because that just adds so much damage into your rotation. And it's also going to stack really well with this build, because we're going to have a lot of pinning shots to use. So it's super important, and probably my favorite talent on most heroes. I love that iteration of it on Thrall as well. But moving on, I always take Precision Strike, and this is another one of those ones that if you don't take Precision Strike, you may just trigger your whole team, because this is the go-to pick for Novas, just because the other alt option, Triple Tap, is just a little bit too easy to counter. There's too many characters that can just easily body block it, so it's not really good in a team fight situation. Too many characters can go into stasis, so only in very niche situations can you get away with picking that. But chances are your team's going to get mad no matter what the situation is when you pick that. I sometimes like it on a bigger map because it's great for 1v1ing, and if the team's disorganized. But really, that's more of a quick match thing. If you can take that in quick match, you're going to have a lot of fun, because a lot of the time the teams will be more spread out and less organized, so you can get those nice 1v1s, and they actually do come up pretty often. So in quick match, I will sometimes take Triple Tap, but in Hero League, you have to take Precision Strike. It is the better ultimate, and it is the one that will stop people from verbally abusing you in the game, so go with that. And at level 13, we're going to take Double Tap, and that increases the charges of Pinning Shot by 1, so you now have 2 charges of Pinning Shot. And that stacks beautifully with 1 in the chamber, because you get that bonus damage on your shot afterwards. I love this play here that you're about to watch, that we just both, like, that person just didn't respect either of our kill potential there and stuck around. I kind of figured Arcanus would give himself a shield and be able to tank a little bit. And the other thing nice is about, like, you see how much map control you get from having that increased cloak speed on the screen right now. Anyways, I'll jump over to the level 16 talent. This is where you start being able to shred tanks. This is kind of the biggest power spike, honestly, I would say, because up to this point, you do have good potential. Oh, brutal. Sorry. Anyways, you do have good damage potential, but frankly, you're still pretty useless against tanks, especially if they have some armor of their own. So this is the point where you can stop being afraid of opening up on someone. Because like I said at the beginning, the worst thing that a Nova can do is sit around cloaked and watch a fight progress, hoping that your team is going to be able to reduce one of them to half health. You actually have very high sustained damage. It's one of the things that they brought to Nova when they reworked her, was having some legitimate sustained damage during fights, where you don't just have to sit there and pick off stuff. You can be a primary damage dealer. And this crippling shot is going to take that to the next level. So even the biggest tanks, like maybe not someone like Johanna, but an ETC, a Diablo, open right up on them with pinning shots starting now. And if your team piles in too, and they overextend even a little bit, they're going to get deleted. And it's hilarious because usually by level 16 when you're playing Nova, they're not quite ready for them to get opened up on. So the tanks have probably gotten used to coming in a little bit less. And now all of a sudden they're going to be losing half a health bar as soon as they do those YOLO dives that they've been getting used to doing the entire game. And at level 20, if you're comfortable on Nova, take Rewind, because that is going to increase your one-shot potential exponentially. Not actually exponentially, but figuratively. What I mean by that is that you can now one-shot anything. If it's a Diablo, you can 1v1 it, right? Like, if it's Garrosh, you can 1v1 him. Anything that comes your way, you can now 1v1. You're gonna go, a lot of people like to use Decoy right off the bat, and I do that sometimes because it's nice for a confusion factor, but good players will figure out who the real Nova is right away. So I actually a lot of the time will use my my illusion charge to block a skill shot against an enemy. So like if you're 1v1ing Li Ming, for example, as soon as you open up, she's probably going to teleport away, or if she's smart, towards you, and then she's going to use her combo. So as soon as you open up on her, you want to open up first, and then you want to drop the decoy in between you, and you will be amazed at how many skill shots you start blocking with that. It's something that not a lot of people do, but it is phenomenal if you can get good with it, and you'll be able to block so many different things. So I almost never open up with my decoy, because It's too good just to block a skill shot later on. You'll save yourself a lot of the time. And what's nice about this build is as soon as you hit stealth, even if you're about to die, if you hit that stealth, you're gone because you're about to start full-on sprinting. And if you're not comfortable with Nova, because you need to be familiar with her rotation and comfortable with her burst to be able to do it twice in a row accurately and effectively, you can go ahead and take Precision Barrage, because having a second charge of Precision Strike is also really, really good. It does a lot of damage, and it offers a lot of area control, so it's never a bad option to take that ultimate. And yeah, that pretty much does it for the build guide. So now it'll just be gameplay, and I'll kind of talk about the gameplay a little bit. There you see me using Bribe, which is nice. I mean, like I said before, usually when you pick Nova, you're basically submitting yourself to offering no map pressure to your team at all. By taking Bribe, and if you're playing a good game, you'll get a lot of Bribe stacks. So you just get to take back a bit of that map pressure that you take away from your team, which is really nice, and it really does make up for a lot of the disadvantage you get by playing Nova. And I'm about to die in a really retarded way just for sticking around like this. It's so hard as Nova not to stick around when you know that... yeah. Wouldn't it have been great for the video if I had used my decoy to block that skill shot right there, rather than just taking it on the chin? By the way, let me know how you like the way that I've been editing these. I've been trying a few different things, and I figured it might be nice for me to do these accelerated death timers. My brother told me that I should just get rid of them altogether, but I kind of want you to get to see what's going on the map, even though that time I just left the screen sitting there. It's actually one of the reasons why my brothers don't like playing with me, is that they always they always joke about like what else I'm doing at the same time. Because I pretty much am always doing something else at the same time. I have trouble just playing Heroes of the Storm. As fun of a game as it is, I mean, when there's a 30-second death timer, I'm gonna go get some food or something, you know? It's really tough for me to sit at my computer and just cross my arms and just be like, alright, I'm waiting. So I always end up doing other crap, like pulling up a YouTube video or something, and it drives them absolutely mental, because once in a while I'll respawn from dead, and then there'll be like 3 seconds of me standing in the base AFK before I maximize the window again and get playing again, and they get absolutely furious. But luckily for them, dual queuing got removed from the game, so they don't really have to worry about that anymore, because we just goof around in quick match anyways. There's something I was thinking about the other day. So I got this unrelated to gameplay, be forewarned here. I got a new phone. I got the Samsung Galaxy S8 about a week ago, which I have since smashed, which really sucks, so I gotta go to the store today. But anyways, the screen on it is absolutely beautiful. But the coolest thing about it, I thought, was, do you see that? I swear I saw that pitting shot land on him, but he still got to go back there. I guess that might just be like a bit of latency or something, I don't know. Anyways, the phone is waterproof again, so around the time when I was 7 years old, people started carrying cell phones everywhere, and that was the death of pushing people into pools. You couldn't do it anymore. You couldn't do it at all, ever, because before, people would be mad, but they had no real basis for their anger, right? Because you're just wet. It's just inconvenient, right? You gotta go get a change of clothes. Maybe if they're wearing nice clothes, they can get mad, but for the most part, it's a pretty harmless and hilarious prank. But as soon as people started carrying cell phones around with them, it became not funny. And it's one of those things where, like, yeah, they're mad about it, but really they're looking for a way to make you look like an asshole after you push them in a pool. Even, I know you are a bit of an asshole if you push someone into a pool, but my point is when you do that to someone, they're angry, so they start looking for a way to get mad at you. And as soon as you put a cell phone in that person's pocket, they have a legitimate reason to be mad at you, right? So they're like, so as soon as that started happening, people start being able to be like, oh, was it worth it? Now my phone's broken. Why don't you think before you act and all that stuff? You're like, no, it wasn't worth it. I'm sorry, I didn't think. So it stopped being fun or funny, but now, 15 years later, after people started carrying cell phones, my cell phone is waterproof. So if someone were to push me in a pool, I would have no legitimate moral ground to make them look like an asshole on. You know, I'd kind of have to just take it and be like, well, I guess I can't stand near pools around this guy, and now I gotta go get changed, right? But there's no real harm done, so I can't really get that mad at them. Maybe, since not everyone has waterproof phones yet, but I imagine in 3 years this will probably be standard, I could just fake it and be like, it's broken, it's ruined. And then I'd probably point to the shatter on the back and be like, this wasn't there before. It shattered in the water. Something stupid like that. One thing I do love about this phone, which makes it extra sad that I shattered it, is the screen is absolutely amazing. It's got those curved sides, so everything kind of looks like it floats out at you. Like, when you go through Instagram on this thing, the photos look amazing, and they literally are like I forget what it's called, but the edge of the phone is so tiny. This is not a paid advertising, by the way. I'm scrolling through Instagram. You know what one of the funniest things to do is? My girlfriend's brother told me about this. If you go onto a model's Instagram and you look at the comments under their pictures, just pick a comment. You know how there's always weird dudes on there just commenting like nice and shit like that, right? Or like the ones that tag their friends aren't too retarded, but like the ones that are like, I would love to cook you dinner and shit like that. They're like, hit me up. Click on those people's profiles and just have a look at the type of person leaving those comments, because they never disappoint. A lot of them have private accounts, which I think is weird that you're allowed to comment on public profiles if you have a private account. But if they don't have a private account, I can pretty much guarantee you that you're not going to be disappointed with the type of person that you're going to be encountering when you look that stuff up. It's honestly amazing. It's always like the weirdest, creepiest looking dudes. They're just like, oh yeah, if I saw you on the street, I'd be like, that dude probably comments on models' Instagram pictures regularly. One thing I also found hilarious is some of these models are doing meetups. Like, they're literally saying, oh god, I wish you guys didn't have to see that shitty precision strike. That's an unprecision strike right there. These models do meetups. So they'll announce that they're going to a city. Like, I saw one girl go to Dublin. So she's in Dublin, and she's just like, hey, I'm going to be at this bar at this time, meeting my fans, come say hi. And people are actually showing up. Like, the reason I find that so hard to grasp is because no one wants to be a creep, right? But like, when you show up, if you show up to that thing, you're just admitting to yourself that you're a creep. Like, what do you say when you show up to that place? Like, you're just standing there with a bunch of other, like, greasy-haired dudes that just, like, stuck your man tits into a shirt for a day to go try to look at this model in person. Like, you go there and you're just like, hey, so, what are you here for? Oh, just to see her. It's all same, yeah. So, you're like, do you like tits? You're like, oh, dude, yeah, dude, I'm like crazy into tits. You're like, oh, nice, bro, nice, me too, yeah. What about, do you also like ass? And then the other guy's like, oh, yeah, no, dude, I love ass. That's like practically the whole reason that I'm here, is that I love ass. Like, genuinely, what do those conversations look like? What do those dudes all talk about in line? Will they wait to just get up close and maybe, if they've got the balls that day, put their arm around them without doing the hover hand and get like 2-second picture of them, right? Oh shit, I don't know if I remembered to fast forward to this stuff. Okay, yeah, I did. Good. I hate dying at the end of a game and not getting to be a part of the finish. It's so frustrating watching your team win the game and just being dead at the core, because then you feel like you didn't contribute anything to the game. You're like, oh, well, maybe they didn't need me the whole time. Like, it's kind of bittersweet when a team will go in 4v5 when you're dead. Well, actually, that's always bitter, because guaranteed if they're going in 4v5 when I'm dead, I've pinged danger or retreat at least 2 times each, which I know people don't like because the spastic pings are really annoying, but like, don't go in 4v5. It's pretty much always the wrong thing to do. And that's a little bit of bribe action there for you guys. It takes a lot of skill. Yeah, maybe I'll do a full tutorial on how to nail bribes like that, because it is really hard and it takes a lot of practice to get the mouse action quick enough while activating the hotkey at the correct time to get the bribe really quickly. Otherwise, if you miss it once, then you're gonna have to double click on it. You could add like moments to your bribe, and just a lot of time you just can't afford a couple moments. It's a battle of inches, right? I forget what the hell I was talking about. People going in 4v5. Yeah, if your team goes in and wins a 4v5 while you're dead, or while you're somewhere else, that's such a shitty feeling, because then everything that you were a part of up to that point, you have to be like, I wonder if they needed me at all, because this team just dominated 4v5, right? So if you weren't in any of the previous fights, they still might have won those, right? So especially when I'm having a particularly bad game and my team's carrying me, and then I see them go ahead and win a 4v5, I'm like, wow, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about the fact that I just got so carried. Things are about to wrap up here, as you can see. A little bit of a bonus at the end is that one of the reasons I would love for this game to get a bigger player pool is that I was playing. So this footage is all from last night, and I just kind of took my best Nova game, or the only Nova game I got to play the night, because if you look at my team, there's a guy. I don't know how this works as far as like calling out people's names, but anyways, I played with this team, and then I play against the same people, and they now know that I like to play Nova, and then I'll have it highlighted and be planning on playing it. And I just played with them that game. Boom! That guy from my team bans Nova. First ban of the next game. And then I played the next game after that. Boom! Bans Nova again. As you can see, I'm last pick highlighted on Nova. I got Nova banned 2 games in a row, and then I think the game after that I got banned as well. It was so annoying. Anyways, that's everything I have for you. Hopefully the Nova Guide to Bullshit ratio was not too bad there, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great week. Bye.